Hi, I'm Bran, and I love Hallmark fall movies.
Hi, I'm Brian, and I like Hallmark fall movies.
I'm Dan, and I despise Hallmark fall movies, and this is the
Deck the Hallmark podcast.
Deck the Hallmark, it's his podcast. Brandon and friends host his podcast. We hope you like this jolly podcast.
Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday to you.
Happy Wednesday. Hump day. I don't have headphones on, never do, but I can hear a little bit of the theme song through your headphones or someone's headphones around here, and I can just hear Trace, just like
it really carries.
Hit it. So there's that. But
Yeah,
we're doing it.
Well, when it's art always leaks through.
Art leaks
It
through.
rises to the top.
That's exactly right. That's what I'm trying to get to and what I'm trying to get at. And I've got to it and I've got at it. And so
It's
here we are.
Wednesday new episode day,
Wednesday new Hallmark movie episode. We took Monday off. We took the day off. So did everybody else.
Skip the
hopefully.
bliss.
And then we decided, what if we did something crazy here and we did Lifetime first for no particular
No reason at all.
That's right.
We just decided YOLO. Let's do it.
Exactly right. And I felt like it went great.
But should we switch back next week?
I think we'll switch back next week. And maybe
in a few weeks, you want to try it again? Maybe.
Why would we do that?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe just leave it as an option.
Every other week.
Every other week.
Keep people on their toes.
Keep people on their toes.
Well, now they know. Though.
People that listen to podcasts don't want consistency.
That's
they don't
true.
care.
That's
Release
true.
an episode, no big deal. Whatever's
That's true.
fine.
I got
Put
good,
it on YouTube, nobody cares.
Yeah. I got good news, everybody, and it's that next Monday, Alonzo's going to be back with another weekly Christmas fun time.
And we're doing a Ron Oliver joint.
Dan, you're going to be joining us moving forward, and we're doing a handful of 2021 Christmas releases from non-Hallmark channel. So we'll be doing a Peacock, we'll be doing a BET Plus, we'll be doing an AMC Plus, which is a spooky Christmas movie.
AMC Plus?
That we're saving, where it's a spooky Christmas movie that we're saving for Halloween time.
You're clearly excited.
For Halloween time.
It's a Halloween Christmas movie?
That's what I've been told. Not Halloween, it's a spooky.
So this is, you really like that. Say
It's
it
a
again.
spooky.
Spooky.
It's a spooky. So Monday, that's coming back. I know a lot of people have been clamoring and missing Alonzo, and so I'm happy to announce that our guy is back.
And that'll last us until we hit the holidays.
Until we hit the holiday season, mid-October, the way that God intended it. I got...
it's still summer right now, everyone. I just want to be very clear.
It's after Labor Day. You can't wear white.
It's still... that has nothing to do with what season it is.
It has everything to do with what season it is. You wear white during the summer. You don't wear white.
You won't wear white next week. I bet you won't do it.
Why would I? It's after Labor Day.
I want you to do it. I want you to break all the rules. Since
you want me to
listen to Christmas music all year long. Next week, all white.
You want me to wear white?
White shirt. Across the board after Labor Day.
You're after Labor Day linens.
That's right. After Labor Day linens.
Saw them live.
I did. They were suspect.
Amazing. And also, Brian and I were talking last week. We were shooting the stuff.
Yes, this stuff.
And he was like, "Hey, so when does Hallmark? We've talked up how big of a deal it is when Hallmark releases their schedule." And he's like, "When do they normally do it?" And I'm like second to last week, like the September is typically like the 20th,
21st, whenever is
and he
whatever
was
I
like,
think of.
"So when you're out of town," and I was like,
"Oh boy.
No!
If this happens while you're out of town, we're
not
in big
even
trouble.
out of town, out of the country."
Yeah.
Because if I have to go live myself, it's just going to be on my phone, and it's going to be me and Bri just
like
running through them.
I'm planning on like not even having my phone on. I'm just like, let's go YOLO Sparrow down there, and no one's gonna.
So you're going to be you'll have your phone
Off
on
the
in
grid.
case your kids need something.
Maybe not. They have I have a special burner phone for my
You
children.
have a children's burner phone.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
it's all.
and it works in Mexico. This burner.
I'm getting it in Mexico.
It's
from a guy. I know a guy.
Mexican burner.
It's a Mexican burner phone.
Saw that
For the
live.
kids to see it live. Yeah, that's right. It
was all
they open for after Labor Day linens, and in my opinion, should have been the headline.
Yeah,
but that's just me.
yeah. But I am now. Just a little bit. I'm still very excited about my trip, but I'm like asking. I'm getting in my war room. I'm getting in my prayer
Get in the
closet.
war room, baby.
Like asking, like, please, God, please, like, just give me a week.
Yep.
Like, just give me 1 week. and then we can go freaking bonkers.
And on God's list of prayers, that is up there near the top.
Yeah,
I do think that the priority has to be on making sure the Hallmark schedule isn't released while Brand's in Mexico on vacation.
It does feel like you're saying that with a certain tone, but I'm going to take it as you finally being on my side with this, and that everybody else's prayers for at least the month of September.
Just stand by.
Just stand by and stand down.
Stand back and stand by.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's actually an easy one to convert. He doesn't have to do anything. It's just
right.
like let nothing happen.
That's exactly right.
So
this is honestly the best case scenario for the big
asking
man.
for him to do less.
Yes.
So you're welcome. Open it
And
up.
everybody's always like, God, give me this, give me this, give me this. And I'm just like, don't give me this. Marry me on Yosemite. I know, guys, there's a lot of people with a lot of serious things going on in their life, but you get it.
We have a lot of fun here at Deck the Hallmark. But there are more important things than the Hallmark schedule, and we do know that. Please don't send your emails.
It's Brian at deckthehallmark.com.
That's right.
Do you
that doesn't
have-
even exist.
Do you have one yet?
Do we have a Brian?
No.
We can keep you.
Trace, can you get on that?
Kick rocks with an X.
Yes.
At Deck the Hallmark.
Marry Me in Yosemite originally aired on September 3rd, 2022, and it went a little something like this. The movie kicks off with a fella named Jack helping a girl rock climb, so he's pretty cool. We then meet Zoe. She's an author / photographer who has already published 2 heavy hitters, Zoe's Best Chicago and Zoe's Best of the Midwest. Now her agent wants to expand to the West. Get the mid out of here. Let's start with a major. It's Yosemite. But she's like, no one can take better pictures than Ansel Adams. And we know that.
We already know
like,
this.
No one's a bigger Ansel.
Are you kidding me?
We're Ansel.
Dude, A-heads.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And their agent is
We're
like,
big A-heads. I don't know what to tell you.
That's exactly right. The agent is like, I believe in you. And so she goes. And she immediately gets out of her car and snaps a ton of pictures of a ton of different rocks without taking a single step. And that takes skill. She starts taking a picture of someone fishing and her phone rings very loudly. When she takes it, she turns away. When she turns back, he's disappeared. Zoe then finds a helpful park ranger girl named Sage Morningstar.
The
Sage Morningstar. And she's like, you gotta meet Jack if you want to see all the real sights. She goes to meet Jack at his house, and he's listening to classical music. So, still cool. She sneaks up on him, and he's air conducting, which, and then like says, hey, and that scares him. And you know what? I feel that. I get that. Sometimes you get in the conducting mood.
That's right. You get going.
Some people air drums, some people air guitar, some people air conduct.
Which do you do, Brain?
I do all of them.
All 3?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
Sometimes I'll do
I
one
like
of
the
these.
air bass.
Oh yeah.
Air bases.
You got to go high with it.
You got to get real
high.
high. Yeah, real high. That's right.
And so he's like, I know you. You ruined my fishing. So you can go ahead and. That looked like a stand-up.
Dude, I don't know many of the upright air bases.
Yeah.
That is a. You take it
spin that
seriously.
thing.
How much did that thing cost you?
Found it in a dumpster.
Oh, wow.
Take it everywhere.
People just throw things away. It's
Piece of
In
unbelievable.
this economy? He's like, I know you. You ruined my fishing. You can go ahead and shove off. But then she's like, I like classical music too. He's like, dang it. There's nothing I can do here. There's a clause. Classical music lovers have to stick together. She gives a hard pitch on her new book, and he's like, I think that you're naive, but okay. But I need a week to get some things together before I can take you out. She's like, shove off. I'll discover Yosemite on my own. I don't got a week to spare. I've got a deadline coming up soon. He says, be careful out there. She leaves. She promptly gets her foot stuck in a rock while she's hiking. Then a bear shows up. Luckily, Jack is close by and just says, hey, bear, leave, please. And he does. Then he helps free her foot. What a guy. He is like, first, don't pack food. Especially energy bars.
Absolutely.
Ugh.
Second, let's go shopping. He proceeds to take her to a bunch of different stops for pictures, and he talks about his passion for conservation, which we all share. She starts to learn about the real history of Yosemite, and it's the real story, guys. Mm-hmm. This is the real deal.
Not pulling any punches here.
Not pulling any punches. She convinces Jack to help kind of write the stories that would accompany the pictures. And he's like, I'm more of a scientist, but let's give it the old college try. Naturally, that leads to them talking about love, because you have to if you're going to be writing partners. Dan and I talk about it all the time. They go to a bar for dinner and dancing, and it's a real moment that he ruins by spitting her around like crazy. They go on an unexpected hike, and by unexpected, I mean extended, is what I wrote down, and I said unexpected. And they end the day by stargazing, and they end up gazing into each other's eyes, and then they make their own stars by kissing. She takes some more pictures, and she leaves with the plan to continue chatting as he writes material for the book. But when she gets his essay, she's like, it's a bit of a snoozer. And he's like, I can't do this anymore. I gotta go. He starts to dodge her calls. But after some time, he just shows up at her house with flowers. They work together all night long to finish the book. He goes to leave, and he's like, who am I kidding? I'm in love with you. And she says, I'm in love with you too. He wants to spend the rest of his life with her. And they kiss little ones. Flash forward 1 year. The book is a success. She's going to go do a book about the Grand Canyon. And she's flippantly just proposes to him, just kind of out of nowhere, out of the blue. Flash forward to a Yosemite wedding. They do kiss better ones, and they cheer for themselves because no one loves them enough to come. And that, my friends, was Marry Me in Yosemite. That's a nice little rhyme.
Yeah, it is.
Marry me in Yosemite. Marry me, yeah, yeah. Let's take a quick break. Yep.
You don't have another...
Marry me in Yosemite, or you can go away.
Yeah, she stopped the
I'll work on that during the break here on Deck the Hallmark. We're back. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Deck the Hallmark here on a Wednesday. Talking about the newest Hallmark movie. So many people are emailing us. They're like, where's the Yosemite review? Where's the Yosemite review? Well, here's the Yosemite review, and we're going to start with the hot take. And I'm going to start with a guy whose hot take meter is beginning to climb from basement to the first stair.
First stair.
The basement.
First stair.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
We'll see if you can continue to rise. Brian, what'd you think about this movie?
Thanks, Brian.
You're welcome.
So this one, I'd like to start by saying I feel there was an appropriate amount of flannel in this movie.
Okay.
All right.
What about denim?
I don't want to get into the denim. I'm talking about the flannel.
I mean, the last 2 minutes of this movie alone, the denim,
The quota. They had to reach the quota there.
They had to. They heard about your complaints.
Yeah.
They're like,
so it was there.
Get the denim cut.
Yeah, it was appropriate, and
There's
I'll leave
a cut
it
of a movie that's all denim,
all
and then
denim.
they just decide how much to add based upon your denim review.
Just take it off the shelf
That's
and throw it in.
That's right.
They were going to release it on HBO Max, but that got pulled as well, and we hate that.
Release the
man.
denim cut was trending
Exactly
on
right.
Twitter. It's
So we do have another week, another movie that had me Googling facts, which I love it. That's fine with me. I enjoyed the history.
What facts did you Google?
All about the Cause going through the whole backstory of the West, the Yosemite. And
Do you think they would make up the Native American backstory?
It's not that I'm fact checking. It's that I'm curious and interested. So I'm looking
Today,
into it.
Brian learned about American history.
Brian came
He
to...
thought the whites were here the whole time. He's shocked.
Yeah, so I had to spend some good amount of time just learning. No, so I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that was thrown in there. But this movie was between a rock and a hard place, if you will, because taking pictures and walking are just inherently boring.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna make a movie that is about walking and about taking pictures, it's you gotta tough hill to climb.
And this is the first time Hallmark's ever made one like this. So it's
first try. So
we'll give them a break because they've never made a movie about a photographer walking around before with Cindy Busby.
Right. So if they had a little practice, I don't know. But so they're starting sort of like me in the basement with my hot take. It's a tough hill to climb. And so the message, though, is a good one. Conservation, history of the West, art. My biggest gripe, though, with this whole thing, with this movie, was Zoe. I felt like it took me like a day to figure this out. Okay. She wasn't daring enough as a photojournalist. Like when she got her foot stuck, instead of like if she was an artiste, and she was really dedicated.
Yes, seize that moment.
Yes,
or take
those
a picture
pictures
of the bear.
The bear. That's what I'm saying. Capture the bear. Like no, she's complaining and crying. She wants to get out of the situation. I'm saying you got to risk it. So
for the biscuit.
Risk it for the biscuit. If she had been a little more daring and reckless even in this movie, I think we're talking about a different movie. And Jack is saving her from situations the whole time. But she, when the coyotes are howling and Jack yells scram, she's glad. Like I would have wanted her to be like, no, Jack, let them howl. I want to live in this habitat, And
what?
I wanted her to be like
let them howl.
Yeah, let them go. I want to. This is great. We're visitors here. That line was.
You just kind of felt that she was like too big of a
just hopeless, like a damsel in distress.
Yeah.
Like not embracing like the scenario she was in. So I thought afterwards, I was just thinking, I wish you were a little more of a daring, risky and reckless photographer, and I think it would have been a little bit of a more interesting story.
I think what I would have enjoyed better is. So like this movie ends quickly and with a lot of things. It's like
the last 2 minutes of this movie are wild.
So like, what if we did more of that? Bump that up, because to your point, and this was the problem. Shout out to my guy Big Johnson. You guys know I love Big Johnson. I will talk very highly about Big Johnson and the Johnson production group. The last Johnson production we saw was the Whale movie. And my problem with the Whale movie was it was like, this is a lot of whale.
Whales are real bad.
There's a lot of whales.
Whales are boring.
What?
They're no.
Trace, for crying out loud.
He's been on the line for weeks now.
I have a subscription.
To change a subscription to a phone line?
Yes.
So you have a phone line.
Who got you one of those?
Randy.
Okay, Randy. Great. Out in the grass with Randy. Well, look. If you're gonna convince Randy Savage out in the grass, I would watch that.
Yeah.
If you're gonna convince me that whales aren't boring, maybe get someone to talk about them that isn't boring.
Okay.
You gonna get on that?
He's gonna work on that.
I'm already here, baby.
All right, give me a whale fact that's gonna blow my mind.
Whales are big boys. Whale guy out.
Whale guy is out. Thank God.
With this movie, it is, to Brian's point, a lot of walking and taking pictures of rocks, which I'm sure that these rocks in Yosemite in real life are gorge. They don't quite come across that way here. It's a lot of what I gather to be the same rock over and over again, some with a digital camera, some with an old-timey boy. So, I don't know. I would have liked less of that, more of the end story of them getting together, getting engaged, having a wedding, etc. I would have liked more of that. Even just another minute of it. That would have done me some good.
That would have been 50% more. That's right.
It was very, very quick to end the movie. And so the movie was just an okay for me. A lot of walking and a lot of picture taking. And so if that is your thing, then this was a smashing success. If you stumbled from what's a channel that has documentaries on Yosemite? I did feel like we were watching a bit of a documentary with an underground love story. So I would have liked more love story, less documentary on Yosemite. Personally.
If you came over from a documentary channel.
Yes.
You would like this.
You would be like, oh, wow.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't know who would like this movie. It is maybe the worst of the year.
Wow.
I liked it a lot better when it was called Chasing Waterfalls. It's literally the exact same movie as Chasing Waterfalls, aside from the 2-minute proposal marriage thing. She's got to write a book. She's taking pictures of waterfalls, needs to find one she can't get to on her own. Chris Russell is the guide. Same movie. Cindy Busby we love Cindy Busby. She's sleepwalking here because she's played a photographer like a dozen times. I just don't know how many times we need to see this movie. All of Big Johnson's movies are shot in the same forest. You can't convince me that was Yosemite.
He owns the forest.
It's the same forest every time.
Call it Big Johnson.
There are so many lines in this movie that don't make any sense, or I just don't know how it got one pass or any passes before it made the show. This is up there with the Jen Lilly New Year movie. This was actively bad in a very fun way, but actively bad. No chemistry between the leads. Just a mess out there, gang. Not great. Do better. Bad.
It's time for all the feels. Ryan, you get any feels in your tum-tum?
I got 2.
Okay.
Wow. 2.
I got 2. Number 1, kind of touched on it. The cause talking about the history of the West. So I really liked listening to that.
You said the cause.
Cause, yeah, the cause.
It's just cause, right?
Yeah, just cause.
It's not the cause.
The
cause.
Call me the cause.
To be clear, Cosby is not in this.
No,
nor should he be. We're not talking about that cause.
Different cause.
Thank God.
This is the original cause.
This is the original cause.
I think
this is the original cause, not Bill Cosby.
Right. Yes.
Wow.
Everybody knows this.
So the character cause from the 2022 Big Johnson production, Marry Me in Yosemite, is the cause.
OG cause.
Yeah, OG. You can call it what you will.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
I guess we could just say cause and everybody should know who we're talking about. So, you get sad feels a little bit because of the truth behind it and the actual story and what really happened in history. But I really liked his storytelling in the movie, and I found myself enjoying that part, kind of getting lost in the story.
Cause.
Shout out to the cause.
I'm going to piggyback on the cause real quick. I was going. I don't have a feels per se, but this was interesting. I looked up this actor because I'd never seen him before.
Same here.
But I learned that he is a method actor.
Whoa.
Which means for every role he does, even this role, full method. From what I understand and gather based upon his history and his training and how they talked about all of his other roles.
what is it?
So
what does
that meant, now this could be wrong. I don't have any confirmation that this happened, but based upon what I read about him and him being a pure method guy, that means off screen, you've got to call him the cause.
Yeah.
Like he stays in character during the entire shoot.
Wow.
Now, he could have given that up a long time ago, but that was what I read about this guy. And so that was fascinating to me, that you had a method actor on set at the old Hallmark.
I think we got to get his scenes done in one day,
Can
guys.
you imagine
Let's get him
like
on.
one of these like lead actors being like, no, call me whatever my character. I don't even know. I can't name you a single character's
Call me
name.
Jack.
Call me Ben, Jack, whatever. Yeah, call me Mountie Jack all the time. Like I just that's absurd.
That is
to me.
interesting.
Yeah. There you have it.
My second
You
and last.
do make us call you Dan, which is interesting.
Yeah, that's true. You are.
Yeah, no, I'm big on that. You know me.
But we
As soon as I
get
walk in the door,
we get into this room, and you're like, call me Dan.
Dan only, or I'll just get out
Exactly
of it. I won't be able to concentrate.
Won't answer
I'm
questions.
actually a way worse person in real life.
Yeah.
I tone it down for this.
Accurate.
So my other feel was print copy edit feels when they printed out the book. Dan, just please hold your laughter and your insults for just a minute.
I don't know if you know, but Brian's an author.
As a technical writer.
And an author.
And an author.
A children's book author.
Children's book author.
You can go buy his works on Amazon.
Oh, do I have one right here?
There's a groundbreaking new book. Oh, here it is.
Your kids need it. So I frequently will print out things that I'm working on and just do a real hard print copy edit and do just like they did in the movie. And I find it to help with the context and the editing process. And I felt that when they were doing that in the movie, I really enjoyed that they were doing that process. Felt seen.
That's cute.
That's it. Thanks.
I love that.
It's good.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Now everyone knows you're a technical writer. They'd have never known beforehand, but now they know.
I write. Technically.
Technically.
My only feels was that they could have brought in someone with any name and they went with Sage Morningstar, and I love that. I want to that's a great name. It's a great name, and I'm glad that they went for it. Dan, do you have any more?
Sage Morningstar's outfit she has to wear the whole movie.
Yeah.
The oversized like camp ground person. Like none of us were buying it for a second. That was pretty great too. Can you imagine her showing up on set and being like, "Hey, wear this 3 times too big shirt, put your hair in pigtails, put a hat on. We're gonna call you Sage Morningstar."
Yeah.
Oh no! Oh, that's a paycheck right there.
No, she did
Shimmy
great.
Christmas.
Sage knocked it out of the park.
Absolutely not. No.
Let's take a quick break, and we'll come back, and we'll do the Wait, What's, and What the Hallmarks here on this program. Deck the Hallmark.
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 Welcome back to WNTC, The Maverick. We're Deck the Hallmark. It's great to be back here on this wonderful day. Guys, let's do the Wait What part of this program for the fine folks at The Maverick.
The Maverick has a great show on at 2 a.m. It's the Shanks Auto. Shanks Auto is just phenomenal. He talks about cars that people call in and they have questions about. Yeah.
Welcome back to Shanks Auto with Jeeber. Hey, everybody, it's Jeeber. Welcome back to Shanks Auto. Who's this on the line?
Yes, hello there. It is me.
Who is
it?
I? Who?
Decanter.
Your name is Decanter?
Yes, I have a 72 Chevy Apollo. Do not look it up. It is a real car.
Okay.
Yes, I have 2 seats that are missing.
You have 2 what?
Seats.
C's?
Listen carefully and use the context clues of it being a car.
Okay.
2 seats are missing. What do I do about that situation?
So you have 2 sleeves missing. What I would
that you sit your behind in. 2 of them are gone.
give it to me one more time.
I have a Chevy Apollo.
Right.
Don't Google. And 2 seats are missing. What should I do?
Okay, so
Come on, Shanks, help me out.
It's Jeeber. I did Google, as you told me not to, the Apollo. I do see.
This is Jeeber?
Yes.
I will call back for
I
Shanks.
do
Thank
see
you.
a picture of Steve Harvey with this, so I can imagine that you're talking about 2 Steves. If that is the case, find another. It's a good program.
That is a good program. 2 a.m. they play
on the
that.
Maverick.
Shanks Auto.
Shout out to Decanter.
Yeah, who is apparently
I love
sits
that
around
guy.
and he just calls in.
Just calls in
places.
Yeah.
It's
2,
unbelievable.
I think he was saying 2 seats.
Seats is what he was going for, but poor Jeeber.
Jeeber couldn't get it.
Jeeber sounded a lot like you.
Yeah.
It was like,
did.
it was uncanny.
It's almost like he couldn't come up with something. It's tough. The song threw him for a loop.
Yeah, because it sounded like you sang the intro as well.
Right.
Bit. Yeah.
Well, shout out to Decanter. I wish he listened to our program and would call in, but that's neither here nor there. It's time for the Wait What, Brian.
So early on in this, actually the first scene in this movie, when they were showing a little rock climbing.
Oh yeah.
Jack says to the rock climber, it's not as easy as it looks. And I said out loud, it doesn't even look easy.
It doesn't look easy.
What are you talking about? It doesn't.
There's so many of those in this movie.
So that I'm just like, it just does not, no part of that. I don't understand the rope. I know belay and you throw ropes up and down, but I'm like,
belay?
Yeah, belay, right? That's the hook, right?
The carabiner?
I don't know. There's a belay involved.
There's a belay involved?
Belay on. That's what you yell.
You yell, but
Yeah.
you go,
Yeah.
belay.
You go belay on, and that's when people know the belay is on.
I have been using that out of context for years.
I've never heard this as a term.
Yeah.
But I've heard of a carabiner, which is
that's
the
one.
hook thing.
Yeah, there's a belay in there somewhere.
There's a belay in there
Yeah.
somewhere, and
Yeah.
we're sure about this.
Yep.
And Brain, you don't have a thought on it.
I don't. I tried to avoid rock climbing. I have many friends who love rock climbing, and I've been invited many times. Politely say I have plans indoors.
But you know what? You were terrified of the water, and now you get in and you at the pool and you
That's
swim
true.
with your kids. Who
big,
knows?
I'm a big swimmer.
Never say never.
Right.
Yep.
Never
I will never say never. I'll climb rocks. Anything else, Brian?
Yeah, one. I'll stop after this. Jack was one art joke away from saying, "Art fart," because he was just constantly bashing what she was trying to do with her artistic photos. And I'm just like, what is his problem? This guy loves art. So it just was very off-putting when he just kept bashing art so much when he was such an appreciationer.
He was an appreciationer.
Yes.
People in the chat, BramblejamPlus.com, are saying that you are correct about belay.
Thank
Belay.
you.
So, you know.
Belay on.
Belay on. That's what I'm going to do. Is she concerned that she's not going to see another person fishing at Yosemite National Park? When she turns back around and he's gone, he's like, son of a gun! I missed it! I missed my one chance at getting a fisher.
That's right.
It occurred to me, 20 minutes into this movie that her name is Zoe Best, and I just got a big chuckle out of it. So shout out to the writers for naming her Zoe Best and her books being called Zoe's Best. That's just good.
That's good stuff
that's
there.
Just good stuff right there. He went all the way to Chicago for a classical music concert?
Yeah.
That was random, right?
Yeah. We had to explain the air conducting.
They had to, but why? She's like, I love that song. I saw it live at Chicago, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, son of a gun, I was there too. But why?
When they were having that conversation, I'm like, this guy used to be a conductor and like something went wrong.
Yeah.
And it just,
That's the end of the conducting.
It was just like, we were both there. Cool. See you.
He does like music. He talks about music being a passion, but we don't get any explanation for why he went all the way to Chicago for this specific show.
That's wild.
Which was wild to me. Like, it's not like Yosemite and Chicago aren't
Not
next
that
door
close.
neighbors.
No, not even a little bit.
A little bit of a hike, if you will.
Thank
you.
Guys,
oh, man.
can you answer me this? Does that really work on bears? Just being like, shoot.
You have to hold your hands up really, really high.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you just say, get.
You try to make a very loud yelling sound. Yeah.
Get.
It's better than, what was that one movie that basically like the girl was like, I remember my bear training, and she just squats down into like the fetal position.
Yeah.
That's how you die.
Okay.
But you just get real big and yell, and the bear will just be like, I don't want to eat you.
Go bear, get.
I don't think that would work.
Go on,
You
get.
probably have to go bigger
get.
than that. Yeah.
He does this whole bit where he's like, I don't like being in pictures. I don't like being in pictures. And I think he does like being in pictures, because he gets up there and she like takes a picture and she says, okay, we're good. And he proceeds to stand there and pose for like as long as.
Don't make me sing.
Yeah.
Oh, you did. Well, are you sure you don't need more?
Yeah.
Are you sure you don't need more of me on this rock?
Let me climb this.
Just looking out. This is my last one. We get a title card that says 1 year later, and he says to her, so your book did well, huh? Were you not there? Like, is this the first you've heard of the book?
Is this a different book?
Is this a different
than
book?
the one he helped her write?
So, book did well, huh? We actually, since we turned it in, we haven't talked about the book at all. We haven't discussed it. Not one iota. It's good to know the book did well. Dan?
Gosh. So many. Going to try my best to narrow it down. All three of us actually are published authors, which is very weird, but we are. This is not how publishing a book works. This guy, this publisher, basically says, I'm going to give you a bunch of money, and I'm going to send you somewhere 2 months before the due date of this book to put together photography on 750,000 acres of land. 750,000 acres, guys. She's never been in her life. Go out there for a week and take some of the worst pictures I've ever seen, and we'll put them in a book. And while you're out there, see if you can rustle up a co-author, because she gets out there and goes, I'm going to let this guy co-write the book. Yeah. And he's like, great. Yeah. You do that.
Does he mention that? Does she even discuss that?
She says, I think you should co-write the book. And he's like, okay.
And then Sheath just throws it out to her agent with,
like, that's what I mean, to the agent.
Yeah. There's one passing, he's going to co-write. And he's like, well, keep sending me pictures.
Yeah, I don't think that was her call.
But my favorite shtick about the books is that she's written a book that people love, Zoe's Best
of the Midwest.
And he's written a book that people love, sort of Scrutter's Best.
Yeah.
And
love that one.
Neither of them have a copy of their own book to give someone. The only place apparently that you can find their books is at the gallery of a different photographer, because both people that have a copy of their book say, I went to the such and such gallery and got it. Now, they live in different sides of the world, but the only place apparently to procure yourself a copy of either Zoe's book or his book is this random other place. Like, I just, why? Why did that happen like that? But let's get
I have good news about our book, Dan. I'll be home for Christmas movies.
Yeah.
Still on sale. I was at Barnes &
Available
Noble.
everywhere, right?
I was at Barnes & Noble over the weekend. I said, I wonder if there's suckers still in stores. And there is. There's a few copies
Still
here in
there.
Greenville, South Carolina. So
You can get on Amazon, Walmart, anywhere.
wherever you want to.
And no matter where you buy it, it helps the podcast because it sells a copy of the book.
That's exactly right.
Unless you buy it from your friend or like on the black market. If you buy a black market copy, I do want details though.
Yeah.
I
Where
want
do you
all the
find that?
details on how that happened.
There are autograph copies out there floating around with random people,
That's right.
double-decker autographs that might
That's
be
right.
for sale.
True. I have like 5 quotes that I found to be appalling in this movie. The
Okay,
first
hit
one
me.
is, she says that in referencing a bad review, that one newspaper quoted me as a bad review. She couldn't think of a single newspaper anywhere. She's in a store, Coz's store, I believe, the Coz. And there's walls of mountain boots, climbing gear everywhere. And she says, this is a great shop. You get a lot of climbers in here. Where else are they going to go? This is the place where all the climbers would go. You don't need to say that. Like, that's like no. Mostly just like baristas stop by and
they just look at it.
journalists, they love it. She tells someone she'll show herself out when she's already outside. I don't know how that made the cut. Someone says, as they say, a picture's worth 1,000 words if it's the right picture. No. That's not the sentence. The sentence is, a picture's worth 1,000 words. That's it. There's no clarification. There's no qualification. That's it. This person has decided that the colloquialism, the old saying is, as they always say, she says that first, as they always say, a picture's worth 1,000 words if it's the right picture.
I like that better. I think it was lost in translation.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
There's surely not every picture to it.
No.
I think my favorite of the
1,000
quotes,
words.
though, is this guy is explaining why it might be tough to take this one path to get to this place she needs to take a picture of. Something about tears and a half moon. I don't know. And he goes, well, yeah, it's easy access. He says this exact line. Easy access, but shadows, clouds, mist, who knows? Mm-hmm. Okay, all right. Well, let's reverse engineer that just briefly. Clouds, yeah, if you're up high and there was very low clouds, yes. Mist, I could see how you could slip on the rocks. Shadows.
Tricky.
It's spooky.
Yeah.
It's spooky. It's like the movie we're doing for AMC Plus. It's a spooky. It's a spooky movie.
There is a world where they could take this pass were it not for shadows.
Yeah.
Well, you see something, you go, whoa, and then you fall off the mountain. You're done.
I rewound it. I was like, he didn't say shadows.
Yeah.
He said shadows.
Yeah.
He was like, clouds, mist. Shadows was the first one. Came in hot. Look, if the shadows a certain way casting that light. And also, if we know the sun's out, can't we just plan to not go when the spooky shadows are there?
No.
Isn't that how the sun works?
No.
Unpredictable.
That's kind of the thing about this.
Yeah.
That's why that way is that no matter when you go, shadows.
Shadows,
Can't believe you're questioning
clouds,
cause.
mist. Who knows?
It's actually the dog from Homeward Bound. Shout out to Shadow.
It's a
Right.
dog. The dog named Shadow.
Yeah, you mentioned it in your synopsis, but in the middle of a slow dance, they decide to swing dance.
Hard.
Like full Brian Setzer orchestra.
Yeah.
Everyone else is slow dancing, and they're like, no, we're going to rock this town, rock it inside out. Like we are
right.
in a different universe.
Brian spins his air stand up.
That's right. He's all of a sudden, Brian's out there with Brian Setzer, and he's boom, 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 boom. And then this is one of the most egregious empty coffee mugs when they're camping out of all time.
That's very
It's
bad.
real bad. And she makes a comment about how good the drink tastes, and it is like the middle school theater. And then I will say that, we've seen a lot of these over the years, and the misunderstanding that causes the temporary breakup in these movies has always been bad. But your essays were more scientific than I thought they'd be.
Insulting.
Is the worst. I think that's the worst. I know that you're a scientist, but your essays were more scientific than I thought they'd be, so we're not going to talk for a while. That's the worst. That's the worst one. That's where everyone else is playing for second place. That's the gold medal.
Well,
Your
I think the
essays were
problem,
more
though, Dan,
scientific than I
is
thought
that
they'd be.
she had a warning that he writes more scientifically. He says, "Are you sure? I don't know if we're going to gel." So I think that's why he's mad, because he gave her the upfront warning.
So it's still terrible, though, right?
Well, it's not great, but I'm just
Okay.
saying,
Yeah.
if you got a warning like, "Hey, I don't like it when people wear black shirts," and then you show up to a date and you're wearing a black shirt.
I want to be very clear. That is not a great analogy at all for myriad reasons. Like, there's more reasons than I can count how that's a terrible analogy. But I understand what you're trying to say.
But walk through this with me, okay?
Okay.
So imagine that you really like somebody,
but
and you're like, "We should go out to dinner," and you say, "Here's the thing, I actually only have black shirts."
That's right.
And she's like, "I don't think it's going to be a problem." They go out on the date. You show up, and she's like, "Oh, I actually don't like black shirts."
Yeah.
That would be bothersome.
And then the date would be over, and they would go their separate ways. That would be the end of it.
Yeah.
This has nothing to do with that.
Well, it's similar, though.
They're writing a book that they have to present and publish.
Yeah.
So they have to collaborate to create something together.
Right. And
he
knew not to wear black shirts. He knew that up front.
He did it
It's a
anyway.
great
And he did it
analogy.
anyway.
I don't know what I was talking about.
He did it anyway.
It's a great analogy, Brandon.
He knew it, and she knew that he really liked
That
black.
analogy holds up as much as
3
Brian's
is in the middle.
upright bass.
That's right.
That's
Three's in
right.
the middle.
Without
It's time
zero,
for What
yes.
the Hallmark is. Part of the show we wonder what could have been. Maybe having some clear questions we still have. Brian?
Yep. So her name is Zoe
Best.
Okay. Did you know Ansel Adams married a woman named Virginia Best?
That's why they did it. That's why they did it.
How about that?
I mean, we're A-heads. We all know that.
Yeah, we know this, obviously. Obviously, this is nothing we don't know. So my big question after I found this out was, is she a descendant of...
Did you find that in the pop-up video version, or did you do that your own research?
Yeah. I got a pop-up video version sent to me, created specifically.
Big
You asked
video.
for it.
Hallmark, the brass out Hallmark heard.
You're like, we're
And
trying
they're
it
like,
out.
you know what?
It's a beta version.
Just give it straight to Brian.
Yeah, a little glitchy, but it
Kick
had
rocks at deckthehallmark.com.
with an X. So my question was, is she has to be. It's too coincidental that her name is Zoe Best. Ansel Adams married a woman named Virginia Best. Are they playing around with this, or is she truly a descendant of, from the Ansel Adams family, from the Virginia branch, obviously? It has to be.
Do you want to know if Cindy Busby is an actual descendant of...
No, in the movie, her name is Zoe. The name
In
is
the
same.
movie, you want to know
So
if
you
Zoe
think
Best...
there's a
So
theory?
you think that
Yes.
Zoe Best is actually related to Adams?
I do.
And they just decided,
Yes.
we only got an hour 24.
Why
We're not going to
would
mention
they-
that.
But when
It's
Virginia
so-
Best married Ansel, wouldn't
Yeah.
she have dropped the Best
Yes,
name?
but I assume she had a sister or a cousin, somebody to carry the
Okay.
Best. You know what I mean? I don't think she was.
So by
Ansel.
marriage, she's
Exactly,
related.
in the family.
By
Tree. I said
marriage.
by marriage, yes.
By marriage.
That's part of family.
That's-
So
you're
I'm
right.
talking a branch.
Technically.
Yes,
Technically speaking,
if
yes.
we're talking technicalities. So I was just really surprised by this, and I thought that's too much of a coincidence not to be the case. So, and I don't know why she didn't mention it. Like, hey, by the way, I'm related to Ansel
remember
Adams.
a few minutes ago when I said it was the worst misunderstanding? That's the worst What the Hallmark I've ever heard. It's the worst one I've ever
Are you
heard.
serious?
least
It's
you're not
real
wearing-
bad.
That's a great find.
They mentioned this Adams character 1,000 times.
Why would they
If-
leave it
If
out?
she was related, they would have
I
brought it
know,
up.
and my question is, why wouldn't they either include
Because
it?
it's not. It's not
so
a thing.
why use the last name Best?
Because it's an easy name for the book.
They
and
could have gone with anything. Better, great.
Zoe Better.
Yes.
I am Zoe Great. Nice to meet you.
Zoe the Great.
Zoe Better.
Zoe Better.
Zoe Better.
She should be a
Well, but
descendant.
also that book, that you have to change the title, like
I know it works
Zoe
great.
Better Chicago, like that
Zoe, yeah.
doesn't work as well.
But if-
Zoe's
if they-
Better
if they
Chicago
didn't-
does
but-
work.
Zoe's Better Chicago
See?
does.
Okay, but if they didn't know this, you know,
That proves my point.
they should have. Somebody should have pointed this out and been like, "Let's lean into this."
Yeah.
Just one simple line.
Okay,
Oh,
all
I'm a
right,
descendant.
that's better. Zoe Better.
My biggest question is about when they decided that they're going to write this thing together. There's not a conversation about money. I know that there had to have been a conversation about money at somewhere along the line. Whether when she talked to her agent, he would have said, instead of send me the pictures, he would have said, okay, well, how are we going to split this up? Like, what's the money? So I do want to know about the money, or did he just do this just for like kisses and giggles. Dan?
Yeah, mine was all about the cause, which we talked about a lot earlier. Like, I've not seen him in any Hallmark movie. I was excited to see him.
He was great.
Very interested. Like, he just what was his life like as a character before this? Like, he just kind of pops up to deliver this, these great history lessons and like sage wisdom. And I just would like to know more about him, or maybe just kind of do a little biopic, like a cause biopic.
Oh,
would be great.
Yeah.
Sage Wisdom. That has to be your middle name, right?
Oh,
he's
giving Sage wisdom. Oh man,
Sage Wisdom with cause.
Oh, that's better than the movie.
Yeah,
with the descendant of Ansel Adams.
That's right. By marriage.
By marriage.
We did, everybody. Congratulations. We're going to be back tomorrow with A Wind Calls the Heart. Jax, I believe her flight gets in tonight, Lord willing. She'll be back with us tomorrow.
Ooh, man.
She's been cutting it close. But listen, they're figuring it out down there at the GSP. We'll be back on Friday with Love's Portrait.
That's right.
Yes. Love's Portrait, the Hallmark Movies and Mysteries joint. Until then, maybe we're the first to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Deck the Hallmark is the That Sounds Fun podcast. It's produced by Tracy Nillisname. It's recorded live in that Greenville, South Carolina. For more information on Deck the Hallmark,
That's all
you can go to
I knew I would get them eventually. Just facts. It's all it takes is facts.